What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. This is the Deep Corner, episode 34. I'm Rob St. Clair, and a very special guest from a few miles away from me in Chicago, from the Chicago Icemen, Mr. Brandon Poindexter. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. I'm happy to be here. I've watched all the episodes, so excited to definitely have my chance to get on the show and talk some volleyball.
Thanks, man. Been a long time coming. We were just talking before this. Like, it seems like the July 4th event that we got to play was forever ago. It was already like over a month ago by now.
Yeah.
But certainly somewhat still fresh in my mind. Hopefully, yours too, and a lot of the people watching have seen and remembered the matches and remembered how much of a stud you were on the weekend. So we got a lot to get into there. But
For sure.
first of all, what's the last month been like? Kind of
Yeah.
riding the high of a volleyball weekend, and now you don't really know what to look forward to, I guess.
Yeah, it's been a good few weeks. Definitely watching all the footage you guys have been putting out, which has been awesome. All the replays and all the highlight videos. I'm definitely not used to watching myself on VR on YouTube, so it's been nice to kind of go back and reflect. And the event was so much fun, and kind of get to relive it, even though can't really play as much anymore now. But yeah, going back and watching all the content has been kind of how I've been spending a lot of my free time, and it's like almost like film study, even though we don't really have anything coming up. But yeah, it's a lot of just watching volleyball and just trying to stay in shape in the last few weeks for sure.
Yeah, it's about all you can do. It's cool. I've been doing the same, honestly. Like rewatching a lot of the matches. It's just fun. They're just fun to watch.
Yeah, yeah, it's nice. I mean, we had some really good battles, I think,
Oh
that
yeah.
week. And you kind of, when you're in the heat of it, you kind of don't realize that it's a championship game or it's a game five. You kind of just you're worried about the next point. So to kind of go back and see it from like a spectator, you're like, wow, like these were like some pressure moments that you kind of got to play through. So it's been fun to definitely go back and relive it.
Cool. Well, yeah, we'll get into that whole weekend a lot about that, but I want to start with just kind of getting the people to know you a little bit better. And if anyone was tuning into the matches, they might have heard me talk about how you're from the East Coast. You're from Cambridge in Massachusetts, like nearby Boston, right? And
Mhm.
I don't know very much about the volleyball scene in that part of the Northeast. So tell us about when you kind of got into the game, and then you went to go play club at BC. I want to hear about what that was kind of like too.
For sure, yeah. So I got started playing in high school. Boys volleyball wasn't as big on the East Coast, especially in my area. But my coach did a really good job of kind of getting us involved. Practice. Obviously, we played against schools in our league, but she was taking us to tournaments. A lot of us got involved in club teams, and yeah, that kind of was kind of where I got the kind of first kind of love for the game. And then yeah, just from there, the volleyball community in the East Coast isn't that big, but it's a tight knit family. So I still keep in touch with a lot of the folks that I played with back home. And after high school, I wasn't really looking to play D1 or two or three or anything like that. And then just ended up getting into BC and just said I'll go there, get the education, and to find out they had a good club team, which was I didn't know anything about going into it. I didn't know club volleyball was a thing. I mean, I'd only been playing for a few years, and then going to BC and playing for a good club team. We were really successful. It was a lot of fun to play with those guys, and to do that all 4 years was nice. I feel like that is really where I like grew into the player I am now.
Yeah.
Obviously being 18 years old, going into college and growing up a little bit and kind of figuring things out. Yeah, just the club atmosphere was awesome. It was again really high level. And then yeah, from there, I did play a lot after college in the area, playing in like local. The league is called Yankee, but playing in a lot of those local tournaments. And then yeah, I moved to Chicago. It was 4 years ago now.
And the
And
rest is kind of history.
the
Yeah.
rest is history. Kind of just hit the ground running once I moved out here.
Yeah. Well, I'm a part of the Chicago kind of volleyball world too. I know that community a lot better than I know it on the East Coast. But another thing that I share with you there is the college club thing. I did it
Yeah.
too. It was a couple years after you, obviously, but kind of a similar story. Like when I went in, like I knew college club volleyball kind of existed as I was looking at schools, but when I went to Purdue, I had no idea. Like, like are these guys any good? Like,
Yeah.
what is a tournament even like? Like, what's practice like? Like, what am I
Yeah,
getting myself
exactly.
into right now? And yeah, like you just show up at the first tournament, like, whoa, there's some real players at this level. Like this,
Some ballers, man. There's some
yeah,
ballers for
like
sure.
this is real. Like this is legit. And
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but we didn't have a coach when I was playing club in college, and even still, I thought I was one, and there were several other players that got better in college club even without a coach. Did you guys have a
Yeah.
coach at BC?
2 out of the 4 years we had a coach. My freshman year, there were the 2 coaches we did have were players that had played previously.
Gotcha.
I think my junior year we had a player coach who was a grad student. He's actually from the Illinois area, Sean O'Malley. Yeah, went to law school at BC and ended up playing on our club team and coaching us. And then my senior year, we had another a prior player coach as well. So never really an official like volleyball coach, as in like someone that wants to do it full time, but I was either a student or a former player.
Yeah, I think that's really cool about the club level is you can I've talked about this on the show with a few other guys that have played college club is I think it's cool that you can kind of make it whatever you want it to be. Like you as your group that's playing there at the time, you can, just kind of take a lot more ownership of it and make
Exactly.
it make it what you want. And if you happen to have some talent, then you can really go places at the club level and the opportunity is there for them now. And I think kids coming out of high school are starting to notice that it's an option
Yeah,
a little bit more than when you came out and when I came out, and I think that's really cool.
for sure. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I've seen just like social media posts from like what club sports is now. You see how much it's grown, and like you mentioned, taking ownership of the program. That was definitely my favorite part about doing it was you kind of make it your own thing, and really brings the team together.
Yeah, I totally agree. So, as a player, more specifically, first of all, were you always a middle? This is always a question because a lot of times people get stuck there, and then sometimes they never get to leave. That happened to me.
Pretty much. I actually played a little bit of opposite in high school because I just wasn't a good blocker, and we had people that were shorter than me that were better blockers. I mean, granted, I had just started playing, but after that, I kind of just had always been a middle. I mean, I enjoy it. I feel like obviously as a middle, you don't really get a lot of the shine and the hoorah plays, but
Uh-huh.
that a good consistent middle is hard to come by. So I try to really own that role, and as long as it keeps me in playing at a high level, I'll keep holding it down in the middle if I need to. So
Well, you're right about that. Everybody who plays at the highest levels like appreciates a middle that is good. There's so many like intangible and not so noticeable things about that are a huge deal, and it is kind of nice. And I always have a soft spot for middles when they do cool stuff, and then when they get recognized, like you for an all tournament award at the tournament, that's very well deserved. So, when did you become clearly the big guy around? Like you're 6'9",
man,
you
6'9", yeah.
uh
I mean,
when did you
I've always
grow
been
like
tall.
yeah.
Yeah, I've always been tall. I mean, I think I hit my growth spurt. I was a late bloomer, so I think I hit it, probably early freshman year of college is when I like reached like
Whoa.
6'9", and then I started to fill into my body. After that, like I really didn't lift weights in college. My friends will tell you that I was a pretty skinny kid. Looking back at pictures, but yeah, I think I've always been just kind of like tall and lanky. And then once I actually got out of BC, I was working full time, started working out more, started playing more volleyball, and was still playing at a high level. And then that's when I started seeing like the translation from taking care of your body to playing. And I was always dealing with like knee pains and like shoulders and
Mm,
elbows, but like when I started actually like working out and taking this stuff seriously, it went away, which usually doesn't happen when you're getting older.
that's true.
So yeah, once I kind of found like that, kind of discovered that, it was just kind of all like take care of my body as best as I can.
Talk about it a little more. That's something that I haven't really scratched the surface on that much on the show is like volleyball fitness. Because like I played college club too. Like I never went through like a fitness program or anything. I never had like a
Yeah.
trainer like some of the D1 guys did. And you mentioned injury prevention is a huge deal, but just in terms of like getting bigger, stronger, faster, how do you approach that as it like specifically relates to volleyball? Like what can you work on in the gym or with the weights that you can see or feel translate to your volleyball game?
For sure. Well, definitely, squatting was huge for me. Being a taller guy, kind of had to work at it a lot more, like, making sure I wasn't breaking down in form or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And like even like the little things, just like nutrition, like foam rolling, like that stuff I didn't do in college. Like, again, we didn't have trainers with us. We didn't have people on staff to kind of help us take care of our bodies. So it's kind of up to us, which when you're a college student was the last thing.
Exactly.
So like once I started doing the repercussions of not doing that, and like I'm playing these 2-day tournaments and I can't walk the next Monday or Tuesday, you're miserable. So that's when you really start looking into, obviously hydrating, eating good foods, obviously, foam rolling, stretching, all that stuff. So that stuff has been like a savior for me in terms of just like prolonging my career as much as possible. Like even now, I can pretty much play a couple of days without putting on a brace or anything. And that's just from like all trying to like maintain and maintenance and, not being stupid and running around after playing in tournaments and, doing things like that. But yeah, the physical part of it, I love playing the game and I want to keep enjoying it, and playing hurt isn't fun. So I'm just trying to, avoid that, by any means necessary.
That simple. Yeah, you put in the work so that you can even just keep playing the game. Sometimes
Yeah,
that's as easy as it is.
exactly.
So before we talk about the whole Icemen weekend, I want to get you through this set of like rapid fire questions that I put people through a
Sure.
lot. So just give me the first quick thing that comes through your head when I ask you these. You ready?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Early mornings or late nights?
Early mornings.
Dude, I've had so many people say that lately. That blows my mind.
Really? I'm a morning person.
Wow. Best pregame like warm up song or artist?
uh, Probably something by like Drake or something. It's one of his hits. Something easy just to get me going.
Sure. Best day of the week?
Friday.
Stuff block or service ace? This is an interesting one for you. Yeah.
Stuff block. Yeah.
You probably get a few more blocks than aces in your play style.
Yep.
What's the hardest position in volleyball?
I think outside.
Really? Okay, good answer. They just have to do everything.
You got to go all the way around, pass, serve. I mean, after everything. So yeah, outside.
Yeah, I don't disagree. What's the best post game meal?
Chipotle.
Oh, good one. Oh man. What's your favorite jersey number?
5.
Oh, cool. Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Me too, dude. You're the first one. Yes.
I know if my friends are watching this, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, cats." I grew up with cats.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, you're the first one to say cats. I've been waiting for
There
it.
you go.
That makes me so happy. What's your favorite sports team in any sport? And I think I answered this already.
Patriots.
Yep, sure enough.
Path Nation.
Who's your favorite in any sport?
Tom Brady.
That's gonna be different this year, huh?
Well, LeBron James is the close.
Nice. Okay, good one. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Flying.
Nice. I mean, you're pretty close already. Let's be serious. What sport are you the best at other than volleyball?
Basketball, I guess.
Did you play in high school? Like, were you one of the casual kids, or was it not?
No,
Not so
I
formal?
didn't play. I didn't play in high school. I played pretty much all throughout my childhood, getting up until high school. But I wasn't good enough to make my high school team like my freshman or sophomore year. And by my time I like was taller enough to like really be good at it, we just didn't have the heart for it anymore. But I
Yeah.
definitely in the sport all the time.
Well, your coaches, if they saw you now, they would regret not investing a little more.
I've
in
seen
that.
them and they're not happy about it.
Yeah, I believe it. Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Nice. Favorite color? Mine too. And what's stronger for you, loving winning or hating losing?
Oh, hating losing.
Yeah.
I'm a bad person to be around. Like I try not to show it, but like I'm very competitive. If we lose a game I know we should win, I'm just not. I can't just shrug it off. Yeah, it's bad.
Well, fortunately, when you guys walked away from the classic weekend, you had nothing to be upset about because you guys walked away with the
That
W.
helps.
That helped. So let's get into that a little bit. The first match of the weekend was really interesting to me because you and I talked about it after, I remember, but it was like a 5-set crazy barn burner with LVC, and like I've already talked about with a couple other guys who've been on since the event. Like I've said that if you had asked me before who was going to be in the finals, I would have said you guys in LVC, even though there was a lot that was unpredictable. And sure enough, there you are in like the first game. First of all, how long did it take to readjust to game speed? Because that's a huge jump after not playing for however many months it was.
To be honest, it took me till the last day. That's
Really?
what I really felt like I'm not second guessing everything and I'm not overthinking things. I'm kind of just reacting. The first few days especially the first day, I was kind of just like, I was kind of like figuring things out mentally. And then I felt like my mind was moving faster than my body. And it was just like, again, you start second guessing, especially like as a blocker, when you got to get to the pins, you can't really, overthink things. You got to just kind of go with the flow of the game. And it definitely took me till that last day to really feel like, I'm just playing volleyball. It's something you've been doing for the past, 10 years. It's nothing new. And I think a lot of that was also just like that excitement of playing again. I remember like driving out there, I was just so happy to like be playing some form of organized volleyball that I might have like hyped myself up a little too much, those first couple of days and then kind of ease into it after.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear you talk about that. How like the process of getting back into it. Break that down a little bit more, because like I've played middle at a level not as high as you, but I've had some middles on the show, and I'm fascinated to hear them pick their brains about blocking, because I think that if there's one skill in the game that's the hardest thing to do at the highest level, it's blocking as a middle against a perfect pass. I think it's so hard, and there's so much mindfulness and thoughtfulness and thinking and quick reaction time and reading of situations that goes into that. So like I've talked with some guys about what goes into that, but I want to hear from you what was like more specifically catching up to game speed. Like what was the kind of sequence of remembering what to look for or how to react or whatever? Break that down a little bit more.
Yeah, I think for me, I think that with blocking, I was just so worried about not messing up that I wasn't thinking about the play in front of me. I wasn't thinking about the hitters across. I wasn't thinking about the scenario. I was just more worried about, please, like, don't get this wrong. Don't miss a block, push over. And when I was doing that, I just wasn't really, I wasn't really paying attention to the scenario. Like if you know that there's it's a game point, there's a strong hitter on one side. I need to know that, I can take my chances going over there. I need to know, where the defense is behind me. And that's just the stuff that, when you don't play frequently, you just kind of tend to forget, or you're not thinking about it as much. So for me, just being aware of the scenario that you're in at that moment, it was try to really, take into account, and you're not just, looking at, where the pass or the set's going. Just think about the whole scenario, think about the game, think about kind of where everyone is at the court at that time. And it really helps you paint a better picture for like what to expect out of the other team's offense. So that was really it for me. And I think another thing that helps was you have players like, Jositis behind you. He's a very vocal player, very smart, high IQ player. He's always in my ear. Tim's obviously always in my ear. Dave too, the other middles are always kind of talking to me, letting me know kind of the scenario and the situation. So that helps a lot too. But as a blocker, a lot of it's mental. You don't want to overthink. You don't want to get in your own head. Kind of just focus on, the play in front of you.
Yeah, that's a great breakdown. And once you get over the mental hurdles, then you described it as your mind was kind of ahead of your body. And you also talked about, like you and I talked about, like when you're a big guy like you are, blocking fundamentals are actually really challenging at that point. Like sometimes you're up further than you are over, and you get beat underneath your armpits or whatever. It like rolls down your chest if you don't penetrate fast enough. There's so much like very, very fine mechanical stuff about blocking to pins, which it I don't know. You described it as you struck one, and then the rest of the tournament it was like transformationally different. You personally, it was amazing how like much more mechanically sound your block touches became. So was it as simple as your body just figuring it out again, remembering how to get back at game speed, or were you like thinking about it specifically than that?
Thinking about it a little more specifically, and just talking to my teammates, and I got to give them a lot of credit. I always tell them, like, even if you tell me something 10 times, tell me 11. Like, just stay in my ear, because when the game's going on, it's just it's a fast-paced game. Just stay in my ear after every point. Again, I'm a high energy player, so like sometimes I just want to get out there and just kind of just like run around and just like play volleyball without really kind of being strategic about it. And I think that also plays into the fact that, not having played in 5 months, you're just like so happy out there. But yeah, I think the teammates stay in my ear, and then, again, just, I'm always looking for criticism. There's no, to make me better, I'm never going to say no to a teammate, saying, hey, you should try this, or hey, work on that. They're not telling me that because they want me to perform worse. They're telling me that because they see a potential, they can see an improvement for that. And then I can improve. I help the team win. And I've already talked about how much I hate losing. So I'll do it to win. And so that really,
That's a characteristic of a really good team. And you talked about how you're a high energy player, and you award, and I can't remember what match it was. It might have been, I think you guys beat Phoenix on day 2. And you talked about how being a high energy player is just a part of you, of who you are as a player. And it's, I think being in the middle position is an interesting spot to have a super high energy guy, because you go in there, there's only so much you can do to touch the ball, because like hitting wise you're dependent on the pass and like the whole thing that everyone knows about middles, but then you also go off onto the bench for half the rotations. So how do you might just be used to it by now, but how does the amount of energy or the variety of energy change between when you're on the court and when you're off the court, even if like you're like in the starting lineup, you're just going in and out? Or do you think about it even, or is it just kind of second nature to just be an energy guy?
I'm definitely more vocal when I'm out, when I'm down. to really like I like to see my teammates play well, and if they give me something to celebrate, if I'm going to be the last person in the gym. When I'm on the ground, I feel a little quieter. I get a block, I'm going to let the gym.
That's right.
But usually I'm a little more reserved, of course, because I get the plays, and so like I'm always kind of I think I get my own head a lot in terms of what's going on. So I'm always kind of like thinking about what's going on. So I'm asking, but when I'm on, I'm definitely letting teams know that a whole lot of let's goes, a lot of words I probably can't say, but trying to get the teammates fired up, and it's one of my favorite things about playing the sport.
Yeah, it's such a team game. It's just something that I love, just love about volleyball is that sometimes it's even fun being on the bench. That's one of the very things I love about playing middle. Some of the time is when I would come out, I didn't have to focus on much. I had to focus on like watching my team succeed. And
I agree. You should, if on some of the games, if it's a good play and I'm not on the gym, you can definitely see like one of my arms like in the frame, just like we're doing something, just too. But
yeah, that's worth going back and rewatching. We should cut a highlight reel of Brandon's sideline celebrations.
It'll be funny.
So the whole tournament goes by, and the format was really interesting because there's only 4 teams there. You're gonna play all 3 of them at least once, but then once you get to the playoffs, you're gonna see teams that you've already seen. And so there's some learning that your team can do, like learning about the other teams in addition to just getting back into the sport after not playing for several months. It's just really fascinating at a lot of different levels. And the one that I'm really interested in, well, there are 2. There's LVC from day 1 to day 3, but I want to talk about first the Phoenix one because you guys played Phoenix on day 2. And the way that the standings, like the round robin pool worked out was we knew that regardless of the outcome of that match, you were going to play them again the next day. So like winner or loser, it really didn't affect that much as far as the standings went. So when you're in a situation like that, and it's not like win or go home or anything like that, even a loss doesn't affect your standing in the pool, but you still have a team in front of you that can learn from you play a match. What is your personal approach to that?
I think a lot of the guys on our team, or all the guys on our team, are just really competitive. Even I remember having those discussions before that first Phoenix game and saying, hey, we're going to play them again, but let's show them what they got to deal with. These next 2 games. It's kind of just like you definitely wanted to avoid playing them and then having a worse point in the second game. But I think our mindset was just like let's get twice. Let's take your business. There's only 14 here, so let's make a match count. There's not really a game that might not have standings, but we only have so many matches this weekend, so let's make most of them. I think having some guys that we did a job of splitting time everybody, so getting other guys reps in too. We want to make sure we want to make the most of everyone's reps out there as well. So we don't want to put out we're not going to put like a second string team or anything like that. We want to make sure that each lineup we put out has players that we are confident in. If it's a match where someone's up and they might be down the next one, we don't want to. And it's just not how we want to run the team. I think someone will tell you we're a competitive group of guys, and again, we never like losing, so we're going to try to avoid that by any necessary.
Yeah, and I'm glad you talked about that because I was really impressed with how a lot of the teams across the week, but you guys in particular, managed the depth that you have and got guys in. And you're right, it was never just a straight up second string team. It was always a team that was competitive, and Tim did a good job of thinking everything out and maximizing the guys and their connections and the chemistry and the matches at the right times, which was really cool to see. And yeah, like it doesn't matter how much matters. Once you get out there, once you start playing, you want to win.
That's right. Box people, you want to make it worth it. So yeah, I totally agree.
And so you guys did that, and you beat Phoenix on that Saturday, and then you played them again on Sunday. And man, were you guys starting to play some seriously good volleyball. It was even as good as the games on Friday were. The level of volleyball on Sunday was infinitely higher. It was amazing to see the teams shake off the rust and just increase their levels, and you guys in particular were really just starting to click. You guys were really starting to fire. So just think back about a month, and Sunday morning, maybe you were court, maybe you were on the bench. Was there a point when you thought, like, man, we really got something going here?
Yeah, I think we all had a sense that we're going to get better as the weekend went along. Like we had some gym time in before the weekend, but as the weekend was going on, and we were having success, I think we also were starting to have more fun too. We shaking off the rust, we're starting to gel more, we're playing better. So I think we saw an opportunity where if we know how we play, we're going to come home with this thing. I think that kind of spark was kind of all we needed. And once we kind of knew, we always were confident, but I think that once we kind of woke up that Sunday, we were like, hey, last day, let's make this weekend worth it. And this has been a good weekend, but we want it to mean something. You don't know when we're going to get to play again. So
true.
That was kind of my big motivator, was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play indoor for another 5 or 6 months. So I really want to make this final day kind of the best I can. I think that's kind of the whole team out, kind of take advantage of the moment.
Well, you guys did that, and it was pretty convinced. The semifinals was very convincing. You guys were so physical. You got so many quality block touches, not even just stuff blocks, but block touches that turned digs into transitionable offense. You got really involved with the offense, especially Saturday and Sunday. You were up big, you're hitting those shots. That was really cool to see. I was watching a highlight play of yours that was posted on YouTube recently, which everyone should go back and watch all of them, where it was against LBC in the finals, and you made a great read on a 31, and you like, what set that up? I would ask you why you made that read and B, what set that up, because something that I noticed had to have been talked about with you guys was you saw Cody Kessel on the LVC side. You know he's like has been part of their offense as he is. You also know he's a very, very good passer, but what you guys were doing is serving him short. You guys made him work really, really hard to be a part of the passing pattern and also the offense. And on that play, that you made that read and blocked that ball, Cody had to come in and pass the ball short. Was that kind of the formula for you being able to get that? Like, was it tucked up beforehand?
Definitely was talked about. They were telling me, hey, just watch the middle. If you just follow him, if it's a 3-1, you can run those, scrub with him, you'll be able to charms up. And again, you mentioned the serving. I think Dave served that point, and he had been killing it with the serving. He might not have been, but if Westy doing a really good job serving, change up speed, was doing hard and sit up with the kind of off speed, which was working like flawlessly. So that helped a lot too. Obviously, a blocker's best friend is good serving, and
that's right.
Pass. It makes my job so much easier. And I think just a combination of that, and just again, the teammates talking to me, letting me know, hey, you want to run that 31, stay with the setter, square up, just hit, and it kind of worked out the way we wanted it to.
Yeah, that was a great play. It's a good display of high volleyball IQ as a whole team. You guys, found a thing to take one of LVC's strengths away. And you even, like, I remember there's a play later when Kessel got served short on the right side again, and I'm like, oh, there's no way he's getting set this ball. And then sure enough, he gets set that ball, and he turned it. Because he's amazing. But you took a very good player, and you made him work just a little bit harder. And that one play that we're talking about, he had to come up and take a serve short. And I think it was a perfect pass, I'm pretty sure. It was an in-system 31, but it made your job just a little bit easier as a blocker. You were all over it. And you said a blocker's friend is good serving, so that has to do that.
Yeah, definitely out there for me. So I was pretty glad that one. And I was a champion game, you want.
Oh yeah, and in the interview that I did with you, like after the match on that Saturday, you said that you like blocking more than you like hitting.
For sure.
Why is that? That's so interesting.
I don't know. I feel like you hit so much with like hitting lines and practicing. Like everyone's always swinging the ball, and like you get to a point where it's like not hard. Like,
speak for yourself, man.
Something about when you roof someone, I don't think there's any better feeling. It's just kind of feel like kind of just take the whole air out of the gym. You get a good block, and same amount of points to kill. So I've always enjoyed doing that more. Maybe I don't do it as much. I enjoy it more.
It feels a little more hard to earn too because we've already talked about how hard blocking in the middle is.
Yeah, you got to definitely earn your roofs as a miss. So I think I get so much enjoyment out of getting one. So
yeah, you said all points are worth the same, but in a game like volleyball is so dominated by momentum. There isn't much more of a momentum shifting play than a straight down stuff block.
Yeah, that can change the tide of any game. I think that could be down 5 or 10. You get a roof, you automatically feel like you're back in it. It's definitely a morale booster, and you really want to get bent crazy. Definitely just watch blocking highlights.
Well, we've got a few of those coming out already. Coming out soon, and I love watching. Man, they're awesome. Nothing beats a good stuff block compilation video. So the week ended with a huge championship win, and I want to ask in particular about championship point 24-23. And Ben Hancock, backup setter, comes in on the bench and a float serve ace to win the ship. Were you on the bench run at that time? I don't know.
He came in for me. He did.
That's what it was.
Yeah, he came in for me, and I was like, sure, you can. Obviously, I wouldn't mind, but if I'm gonna be a passing liability, let's get in there. And he's a really good player in his own right. But I think there's something for me about you have this hard battle, and then to win on an ace float, it's just like he's kind of basically like the gym. You did it. It was like a roof ended. It was like you did it. Mission accomplished. Oh
yeah, I kind of it was doing the right things, and Ben being prepared, hitting a good serve. I was talking about the value of the serve. It's not hard to keep, but it works really well. So he got him on the 5-5, and like that's it. That's a championship.
Yeah, that was game.
That was it. So you walk away with an all-tournament award, and really deserved. Like I said, watching you from Friday to Sunday was really cool, and it's hard. It's something I like to ask middles, just about their kind of philosophy about playing the position. It's hard in your middle, like you already kind of said, to be noticed, to have a noticeable impact on the game from maybe someone watching at home. But that doesn't change. It doesn't change your effort. It doesn't change your approach to contributing and being a good teammate. But what does it mean for you to now have an all-tournament award to kind of give recognition to a lot of the effort that you put in?
It definitely feels good. Again, I'm not the position we're gonna have 15, 17 kills a match. And, how all those aces are digging or anything like that. But I think just goes to show that everyone has their role. And, the way forward's up, they do their role best, give their team a chance to succeed. So if me playing well, getting all-tournament team means that I was playing well enough to give my team a chance to win. Didn't ask for anything else. All-tournament team would have been nice, but it definitely getting that ambient tournament was everything I could ask for. But yeah, the recognition is great. Again, I'm coming from a place where we're not playing. We're playing a lot of big matches. I've played in games or watching that much in my career.
Yeah.
Had those kind of alternate kind of opportunities. So that is definitely something that I definitely, like soak in, definitely show out fam and all that back home and all that. So it was a nice, very, very honor to get that award. Obviously, with other players that are playing this tournament, I'm playing with some amazing athletes. So to be recognized like that was definitely something I'll never forget.
Well said, man. Congratulations again. You made a great point about being like, if you play well enough to recognize your team, gives you a better chance to win. That's what it's all about, and that clearly was the case. You guys walking with the weekend, and Chicago Icemen are the team to beat. Whenever we get to play volleyball again, but the one thing I do know is that everyone's gonna be coming for you guys.
Can't wait.
Yeah, whenever that is, what's that feeling like now, knowing that you're kind of sitting on top, but you've got a lot of people clawing at you?
It feels good. I mean, again, I have friends with a lot of other guys and other teams, and obviously it's all good energy, good camaraderie while we're together. But obviously that we're all competitors, and that competitive nature is definitely something that we all have. And knowing that we're defending champs is something that I think we're going to use that we're for us. What the team expect from us. The Russians might be a little different than that's what we play in, but for the most part, I think we're still going to have a really, really strong team. And knowing that you're kind of defending the crown is a good feeling. You earned it. You earned the right to kind of say that. So I'm looking forward to defending it the next time we get a chance to. And whatever it is, coming for us, they're going to get our job.
Yeah, well, and the part of that why it's so fun is that the other teams in this league are good. The other teams in this league are really, really good. And it doesn't make a championship like this feel like it was easy. It feels like it was earned because the teams were good. So we know that is going to continue whenever we play next, and that's part of why we as a league are so happy with how that we win, because we showed that. Yeah, guys like you and the Icemen and all the other teams, all 4 teams that were there are good volleyball teams. And
a lot of ballers. Again, I think that the team had a lot of energy that weekend. Yeah, I really can't wait to get out there and compete again. I just can't wait.
Well, Brandon, before you let people know they can follow along with you. You've kind of jump onto the scene, get a little bit of name for yourself playing this weekend, which is awesome. So being on the show, make sure that people know where they can follow along with you. I have your Instagram on the screen.
For sure. Well, any fans of the league, I can follow me on Instagram. It's Brandon P428 at Instagram handle. That's kind of my main social. So yeah, I'll be posting a lot of LA stuff, posting stuff, of course. And I can't wait to see more of the content better now. And the videos look awesome. I've literally been watching a few on YouTube right before this got on, so I'm pretty sure more videos for tonight.
Well, everyone else follow Brandon's lead on YouTube, where many of you are watching this. We are continuing to put out, their videos coming out literally every single day, and my boy Vincent Zuki deserves a lot of credit for cutting up all footage. Even if you watch all the matches, we're coming out with these replays, with slow motion replays from a million different angles. They look amazing, like individual clips, like compilations, the highlights. It's all dope stuff, so stay tuned to the YouTube channel. Brandon, thanks so much for joining, man. It was so great to hear, more specifically for